See if I get any epics to... Oh my gosh. You're freaking kidding me. That's almost back-to-back legendaries. Hi, this is Gecko Mayhem. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm in my main account here, and I am going to be popping some Void Shards today. Alright, Void Shards. Let's do 50. I've got plenty of space to pull them. Without further ado, it's Void Shard opening time. First 10. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let it run its course. Whole lot of food. I wish you could plus your rares. Then I would have a +4 Bellower for farming the campaign. This dude's been popping up a lot. Den of the Tuscanite. Popping up a lot in these Void Shard pulls. Alright, there's 10. Here we go. Twice the chance of getting an epic, and I have not pulled a single epic void yet. Twice the chance of pulling a legendary. And we got Bellatar Mage Slayer. Well, there goes my mercy meter. It's completely reset. We'll go through the other 30 shards anyway. See if I get any epics to... Oh my gosh. You're freaking kidding me. That's almost back-to-back legendaries. That is awesome. Towering Titan, basically useless. Cold Heart, I've got 260 Cold Hearts already. Georgia the Breaker, yeah! Yeah! I know that in Hell Hades' recent video, when he went through all of the Void champions, he mentioned this guy. This guy's a boss in the arena. So, double attack, chance to repeat it. Yep. And he's a heavy hitter. He's an attack champ that hits really hard. He's got really good multipliers. AoE attack decreases their turn meters, which cannot be resisted. They will have their turn meters decreased. If it kills someone, he puts an unkillable on himself, so he's going to survive. And then this is the move. This is the skill. Ignores, strengthen, stone skin, unkillable, block damage, increased defense, ally protection and shield, grants an extra turn. If it kills an enemy, chances are it's going to kill someone, unless it's Siegfried who survives, or that dwarf dude who cannot be killed in one hit. Same with Rotos. So it's not going to kill Rotos because he has that passive that prevents it from being killed. However, you can focus on anyone like a Mithrala and Stone Skin and just bam, because he's a void, he's never going to weak hit. So good. And then he has a 50% chance to ignore 50% of the defense for each hit that is placed. Now, the trouble with this is that it's a one-hitter. So you've only got a 50% chance that he will ignore defense. But oh my gosh, I pulled Georgia the Breaker. That is sick, dude. That is awesome. Was that 30? That's 30 shards. Let's try for another legendary. Let's try for another one. Oh, come on, Sephi. That'll make my day, man. Tuhak. I don't think Tuhak's that great. Battle Sage, she's not very good. She puts up a revive on death buff. And I believe we have 10 more. Let me just check that. Yep, we still have 10. So let's do the final 10. Final 10. I'm so happy I pulled Georgia. He's the Stone Skin Slayer. Prundar, mediocre champion. Seducer, I know that Hell Hades pointed him out in his video. He's actually a really good Seducer. So we've got Sabatha, Kafru. I got Skrank, Nice, and Ostrox. These are all good champions. These are all new champions for me, I believe. Ostrox good, Skrank really good, and Sabatha. Just want to take a quick look at them because I want to be reminded of what their skills are. So she's a support champ. Heals an ally, great. Every time she goes into attack, she's going to pop out a heal. Increase defense and increase attack. There's that great combo of buffs again for your defense and your attack nukers. A revive with 100% turn meter. It's only a single revive, not as good as Cardinal, but yeah. And block damage buff for 2 turns on that ally. So that's going to be fantastic for Knights Revenant Faction Wars. And then whenever she revives them, decreases the cooldown of one of their skills by 1 turn. Sound familiar? It's like that dude that I just pulled before. Kefru, do not know this mummy-looking dude. However, transfers a random debuff from this champion to the target, so you need accuracy. Obviously, he's a defense champion. AoE removes a debuff from his team, so he does a little bit of a cleanse. And then if he does that cleanse, which, in other words, if they have debuffs, he's going to remove one from each of them, which means his damage will increase by 20% against his enemies. And then he does a heal. So put him in a stun set or whatever, something for AoE, AoE against champions. And then his A3, which can book down to 4 turns, unkillable on himself, and a taunt buff for 2 turns. Taunt is not as good as provoke, because a champion can choose not to use an attack type skill, and so it's not locking them out from using their skills. However, if they want to attack your team, they have to attack him. And it's something you put on yourself, so it can't be resisted. And then Nekret's Guardian, interesting. So he's related back to Nekret, and decreases the damage that allies receive. So yeah, he actually seems like a decent champion overall for the Undead Hordes. I don't know if he's going to come into my Undead Hordes team for hard faction wars, but I guess we'll see. Apparently Ostrox is good. He's also a support. You're getting a lot of support gems. Can transfer a random debuff from himself to the target. You will require accuracy for that. Even if you book it up to 100%, you still need accuracy to do that. Does a little heal as a support gem. AoE. Can put this on, so if 3 of your enemies are alive, places block buffs, debuff on each enemy, which is a really good skill to place block buffs. And if 4 or more enemies are alive, has a 75% chance for 3 turns. So it's either 2 turns block buffs or a 3-turn debuff on them, which is actually really good. And then removes a random debuff from all allies, so another cleanse, and increase accuracy, which is super, super handy. When an enemy attempts to place a debuff on this champion, he has a chance to reflect it. So it's like that wand that reflects polymorph and stun and stuff. It's like it's built into him. I think he's really cool. I think he's a little niche, but he's very, very strong as a support champ. And then lastly, we have Skrank, who apparently hits really hard. So for Ogren tribes, I think I need a hefty hitter in Ogrens. And so I'm actually really glad that I got this guy. He attacks an enemy, has a 40% chance of placing Weaken against one enemy. I mean, it's on his A1, right? If they're under HP burn, he has a much greater chance of placing it. Yeah, skills like that on an A1, because you're attacking with your A1 so often, it's actually really handy to have anything that can be placed. Okay, double attack on his A2, heals himself by his max HP each time you crit. He's an attack champ, you're going to have 100% crit. And he's void, which means he cannot weak hit, unless they have a skill that causes weak hits. If they're under an HP burn debuff, which you want them to be, he will put increased attack on himself, which means he hits even harder. And then we've got this. This is such a cool icon for this. Unleash Havoc. Attacks all enemies. So AoE places an HP burn debuff for 2 turns if you have the accuracy. And then it fills his turn meter if one enemy is hit with a critical hit. All of the enemies are going to be hit with a critical hit. Chances are at least one will be. There won't be 4 champions who prevent critical hits. So puts up that HP burn on everybody. Really good for parts of the game where you need HP burn. So the Magma Dragon. Is it Magma? No, sorry, Nether Spider. So Nether Spider needs HP burn. But I'm just thinking in terms of Ogren tribes, hard faction wars. This guy could be really good. Put that HP burn up on the waves, and then he comes in. He does lots of flipping damage. So increases attack and crit damage by 5% every time the debuff triggers. So if you've got someone who activates them, that's going to trigger even more, and it's going to increase his crit damage and his attack by 25%. So by the 3rd wave, he's going to have 25% more attack and 25% more crit damage. So he's going to hit really hard by that 3rd wave. all in all, I am so happy with this pull here, these 10 shards that I just pulled here, and with Georgia the Breaker. Absolutely fantastic get. I am pleased that I pulled those 50, and we'll just go into this tournament and grab these fragments while I am here. Tournaments take a little bit to load. It's not a big deal. It was Champion Chase. I should have got my 3,000. I went way overboard. Got all of these rewards here. I am looking forward to building Georgia to do a little bit of stone skin nuking. But aside from that, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have a good day. Thank you for watching.